Hello my friends, David Kessler here and welcome back to the studio. Today we're doing another watercolor demonstration. This one's non-objective, typically the way I paint. Non-objective abstract meaning no subject matter referenced. As a matter of fact, I've got a little value study that I've done here that I'm going to work with this as a way to do the painting. Hope it's helpful for you. I think it's going to be good. I'm going to work in a violet and yellow scheme, non-objective watercolor, paint on watercolor paper. So here we go. Alright, let's get started here. Now, what I've got for you today is I've got this value study, and it was quick, you know, and I already know that there's some things in here that I'm going to change. I think this whole area probably will end up being white. You know, maybe this is over too far. Maybe it shifts that way a little bit, these darks, so that the center of interest area, which will be here, won't be right in the middle. Right, so I shift it over a little bit, maybe angle some things. But anyway, this is enough of a guideline to get me started. And I think with this painting, what I'm going to do is just a simple complementary color scheme of violet as my dominant color and yellow as my accent color. So as I've done in previous videos, what I'm going to do to start is wet the back of the paper. So I'm going to start on damp paper. Now, I've got my paper so that it's damp. It's not wet, but it's damp. The core of the paper is damp. I've squeegeed the surface off the water off the surface. Now, those of you who've seen these videos before know my materials that I'm using. Those that are new, this is Fabriano Artistico watercolor paper, 300 pound, and this is cold press paper. Right, I'm using a corrugated plastic sheet as my backing board. I've got it raised, tilted just a little bit with a roll of paper towels underneath. I have a 2-inch nylon brush here, which is going to be my main brush, and then I also use a 1-inch Kolinsky sable brush. Right, those are my two main brushes that I use. And let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is just get several violets out here. This is I'm using core watercolors. They're made by Golden Core, Q-O-R. Lay in some color, just sort of randomly. And really, this is going to be our, you know, just our base color. Let me put a little yellow in here and there, just for fun. Right, and I'll come back in a little while after this dries, or after this surface dries. See what our white shape might want to be here. And you can see I'm just randomly picking from the colors I have on the palette. And I know that I'm going to have another layer or 2 layers of color on here, so I'm just trying to establish, you know, kind of establish a base wash of color. And it's really all just middle value color, middle value, right? I'm pretty happy with that composition so far. And you know, if I wanted to, I could come in here and put a little darker piece. And then I can sharpen this up a little bit later on. So I'm going to go and dry the surface of this paper off a little bit, and then I'll be back. As you can see, what I put in before, the paper was really wet and it bled pretty significantly on me, and that's all right. It's all good. Get some beautiful soft edges, which are a nice contrast to these other edges that I'm putting in now. Bright yellow, I'm going to calm that down just a bit. With some yellow ochre over the top, and I sort of like this little guy. I'm going to add a little red violet in a couple of these places, just for fun, and to provide a few highlights, really. Connect these shapes. Okay, primrose. I don't want this to be too bright. Here, if I wanted to do a little bit more detail, and I could scrape just a bit. I've almost let it dry too much for this. And around my centers of interest areas, that's all I'm going to do. That's plenty of detail for me. I don't need a lot of detail in my paintings. I got my dark values. I got my accent color next to my dark value areas. I've got my sharper edges here, which designate that as a center of interest. I got a center of interest here. I got one, two, three center of interest areas. I think I got a nice balance of the yellows in there, and a nice balance of violet and some red violet and a little blue violet in there. And I'm going to sign over here. All right, I hope you enjoyed that demo. I think it turned out super good. You know, really, really love that. Love the colors, love the composition. Absolutely turned out better than I thought it was going to turn out. So if you enjoyed this video, please let me know in the comments. If you think it's good, share it with your friends. If you'd like to learn how to paint like this, you can join me in any workshop across the country that I'm doing this year. I have a link below to the workshops coming up. You know, if you like the channel, haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button. either for the YouTube video or for the blog. That'd be great. I appreciate your support, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks.